What's up, Skywatchers? What is up indeed? Wednesday, July 8th, 2026. Alright guys, we're going to talk about radiation, a central component of weather control. You've seen it. The pattern? That makes absolutely no sense. Massive flooding in one region, extreme drought and fires in another. One county, underwater. The next county, burning. A heat dome sitting like a lid on one city, while 100 miles away, they're drowning in flash floods. They'll tell you it's climate change, random, chaotic. But look closer. The floods, the fires, they share a border. The heat dome has edges, sharp, defined, almost geometric. This isn't weather. This is frequency management. So let's start with what they admit. The White House 2024 Congressionally mandated research plan, detecting the radiative signature of the enhanced aerosol population, is fundamental to understanding stratospheric aerosol injection, and I'll go beyond that. We're looking at tropospheric aerosol injection, and that matters. So they need to detect the radiative signature because they're creating it. Aerosols, aluminum, barium, strontium, graphene sprayed into the stratosphere and the troposphere. These particles don't just reflect sunlight, they are antennas, absorbers, transducers. And here's the part they don't explain on the evening news. Those aerosols are activated by microwave radiation, cell towers, and NEXRAD radar installations, right down to the phone in your pocket. It's all part of the interoperable network, ground-based, airborne, satellite-linked, communicating in real time via microwave radiation pollution. Why do you think they need all those AI data centers? NEXRAD, Next Generation Radar, you think it's for tracking storms? It's for steering them. Microwave radiation does two things to aerosol-laden atmosphere. First, it monitors. The return signals map particle density, humidity, temperature gradients. Second, and this is critical, it manipulates those aerosols. Aerosols absorb microwave radiation. Depending on frequency, pulse width, and beam angle, they can activate, increase, or decrease energy within a weather system. Heat the aerosol layer, you create a high-pressure dome, a lid that traps moisture and heat beneath it. Cool the adjacent area, you create a low-pressure sink that draws in surrounding moisture. That's your flood-fire boundary. That's the impossible drought sitting next to record rainfall, frequency management of conductive particles. But NEXRAD, it's the surface level. The real power comes from above and below. Ionospheric heaters control the ionosphere and what propagates underneath it. The High-Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, and NEXRAD, it manages the lower atmosphere. HAARP handles the ionosphere, the charged layer 50 to 600 miles up. Remember, the precision over power principle. HAARP doesn't blast the ionosphere, it resonates with it. Find the electron gyro frequency around 2.8 to 10 megahertz, and you create heating with minimal energy input. The 2008 papers prove it. Artificial aurora, 7-degree diameter spots, steered across the sky by phasing antenna arrays. But here's where it gets operational. HAARP's ELF, extremely low frequency waves, don't stop at the ionosphere. They leak into the magnetosphere, follow field-aligned ducts, travel along Earth's magnetic field lines to a conjugate point in the southern hemisphere. They get amplified by interactions with trapped electrons. They are wiring the magnetosphere itself, creating artificial ducts where energy can flow north to south, south to north, in controlled channels. And here's where we get into the heat dome as a weapon. Put those pieces together. Aerosols in the lower atmosphere activated by NEXRAD and cell network microwaves. Conductive particles creating localized heating, high pressure lids, and steering currents. The ionosphere above, it's excited by HAARP, creating standing waves, modifying conductivity, the magnetosphere beyond. Ducted, channeled, resonant. When they want a heat dome, they don't wait for nature. They focus microwave energy through the aerosol layer. The particles heat, the air expands, a high-pressure bubble forms, a thermal lid. Beneath it, temperatures spike, moisture can't rise, can't escape, the ground bakes. Move the beam, cool the adjacent area suddenly, and you've got a pressure gradient that sucks in surrounding moisture, flash floods while the heat dome area burns. That's why the pattern looks so artificial. That's why the boundaries are sharp. That's why you can have biblical flooding and catastrophic drought in the same region, separated by miles, not seasons. They'll tell you this is a conspiracy, that NEXRAD is just a radar, that HAARP is just research, that your phone is just a phone. But the documents, they're public. The White House admits stratospheric aerosol injection requires radiative signature monitoring. The HAARP papers document artificial aurora and magnetospheric injection. The physics of microwave aerosol interaction is established. The hope is here, in you recognizing the patterns, in understanding that heat domes have transmitters, that floods have frequencies, that the weather isn't broken, it's being engineered. They need the aerosols. They need the conductive layer. They need your participation in the network. Awareness breaks the chain. Documentation creates accountability. And every skywatcher who looks up and asks, why does that heat feel electric? Everyone who questions the official narrative becomes part of the solution. The sky is a weapon, but knowledge is the shield. All right, guys, I want to give a huge shout out to the supporters of this channel: Richard Vizzi, Adrian Pitt, Lynn Perkins, Susan Karkin, and to the Patreon members and the Facebook subscribers. And a huge shout out to Shane Buell for sharing my work on the 4th of July wildfires. All right, guys, much love and many thanks. Okay, Skywatchers, stay aware, be prepared, and until next time, keep looking up.